Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited that you're all here to celebrate this phenomenal day. Thank you to our piper, Bruce Cummings, for coming and doing the entrance for us, the processional. He's with the Lane Fire Brigade Pipes and Drums. I am Dr. Maria Bierman-Fote. I am the EMS training coordinator for Eugene Springfield Fire. I have the privilege of holding this position and helping to have these fine recruits reach this milestone in their career with us today. Welcome to those of you who have not been here before, and thank you for coming to celebrate this graduation for our EMS Single Role Academy number 2. Also, thank you to our city managers, Sarah Maderi and Nancy Newton, and the counselors for both of our cities, because without their support, today would not be possible. We're also live streaming the ceremony so that our family and friends and the rest of our department can also join in on the celebration. And to our on-duty crews, thank you for making the time to celebrate these new additions to our department. Please be safe out there today. My apologies to anyone else who I may have missed mentioning. It was not my intention to overlook you, but do acknowledge that we appreciate you. So it may seem like a lot of pomp and circumstance to celebrate a graduation for 7 weeks of work. I want to assure you that this level of recognition is very well deserved. Today is an acknowledgement of the tremendous dedication and effort that each of these individuals has put forth over the last several months. The academy wasn't easy, and I'm sure that if these recruits wanted to describe it in one word, that word would be exhausting. And if I gave them 2 words, it would be extremely exhausting. The academy consisted of EMS education all day, every day, for the entire duration of the academy. When comparing this academy model to our traditional dual-role fire academy, we essentially took what's normally taught throughout a 14-week period and did it in half the time. Yet, we still expected a high level of performance from our recruits as the longer duration academy model. That's quite a load of complex, high-level critical thinking development taking place at a really rapid pace. And yet, these recruits faced this challenge head-on, diligently worked to absorb the lessons, practiced, and perfected their performance in order to reach today's milestone. Today is also an acknowledgement that these 7 weeks are only the beginning of what we hope to be a 20, 25, or 30-year career, and in public service with this department. While that span of time may seem like such a faraway point in the distant future, I can promise you that that time will pass faster than you expect, and retirement will sneak up on you. If you're lucky like me, you will find a retirement gig like I did here. It has been an absolute privilege to teach and mentor each one of you throughout this academy, and to be able to be here to witness something that is absolutely wonderful and amazing for each of you. Today is also an acknowledgement of another important beginning. The Eugene Springfield Fire Department Single Role EMS program has had 1 academy accomplished so far. This is our 2nd. And with the 2nd, this program is taking its full shape with doubling the number of our staff in there. The program redesigns the current system response model to allow for the right resource to be matched with the right call for service, lowers the financial requirements on the system, and opens a career path for community members who wish to focus on the medicine aspect of 911 without having to become a firefighter to do so. As the 2nd recruit class for this program, you will be joining our current cadre of single-role clinicians actively working in the field and doubling our abilities. So though today is about these recruits an academy would not be possible without the hard work that has been invested by many of the training and support staff at this department. And I'd like to take just a few moments to recognize them because they're equally responsible for the success of each of our recruits. Instructor Edinger, Instructor Moore, Fire Captain Training, Mr. Giles, Fire Instructor Jeremy Chestnut is out saving lives and working in the field. Oh, he's made it. He's in the back. Fire Training Captain Devin Monty. Program Specialist Dana Giles. And Firefighter Jennifer Griffith, who we absolutely appreciate. You don't have to stand if you don't want to, Jennifer. It truly takes a village to conduct an academy, but we unfortunately do not have the time here to publicly thank all the members of our particular village. So when you get a moment, please look at the back of your program to see the names and the full list of everyone else who has made today possible. We really appreciate all of them. I'd like to introduce our first keynote speaker, Chief Caven. Prior to his promotion as Fire and EMS Chief, Mr. Chief Caven was the union president and worked tirelessly for many years for the single role program to become a reality. With that, Chief Caven.
Well, I'd like to welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Congratulations. This is a big milestone for you all, right? As we move through our careers, we take steps, we work towards kind of what that ultimate vision is, and we join an organization, we go through, we do our tests, we do all of the expectations and growth required to hit the street and continue your growth and mentorship for your career. And today's an opportunity to acknowledge you, share your story, your adventure with your family and your supporters. We're very fortunate to have you join our team here at Eugene Springfield Fire. For the rest of you, Dr. Bierman-Focht, she noted how long this process has been. For 7 weeks for you has been the better part of a decade for us here at Eugene Springfield Fire in imagining what the future of EMS will look like. We started with our BLS program and finding a way to provide a critical service to the community to free up our advanced life support units and also provide a career opportunity to people who wanted to explore the career and decide, is being a paramedic or being a firefighter paramedic what they really want to do. And we saw that program grow. We've seen a number of successful candidates, some before us today, who've grown here at ESF, who've grown to other career fields, to more advanced medical fields. It really has been an opportunity for our organization to meet people, train people, and see what the future might look like. Last year, in August, we embarked in EMS Academy #1. After years of planning and imagining, what are we missing here at Eugene Springfield Fire? We have a proud history in providing EMS services since before we took over ambulance transport, all the way back in 1981, when I was born. We had been doing EMS, and I learned recently that we had been pushing towards taking over the ambulances, despite the way it seems that it was dropped in our lap. But the provider in the area just left, gave 12 hours notice and told the cities of Eugene and Springfield, you've got this. You wanted it, now take EMS. And they did it, and they did it with speed and grace, with a focus on mission-driven support for our community. And within a few short years, Eugene and Springfield, both, now Eugene Springfield Fire, were acknowledged for their excellence in service delivery as a leader in EMS. And so today we grow upon that history and those who took this work very seriously, and now growing a new program, a new opportunity that meets our community's needs where it's at. Today, you guys might be on the ground floor of what EMS is for our communities. But when we look out to the future and we plan the needs for our fire department, our EMS, our communities, we're going to see the expectation change. We're going to see a more integrated system where there's 911 prevention opportunities, where there's probably practitioner level work to be done in our system. And so those are the things that we're thinking about as you begin your careers. And as you move up and advance and plan to be leaders in this organization, the type of work you'll be thinking about and planning for the future. We have a tremendous amount of pride in our work. We have a tremendous expectation from our community for the high level of service set by all of those that came before us. None of us in this career are successful because we sat out and said, I got this, I'm the expert. We look back, we look at the experiences of those that came before us, the integrity and compassion at which they carried themselves in their work that built an organization that enjoys so much support and admiration from the communities we serve. And that's a big weight to carry when you go out into the field and do this work. So think of that when you make your decisions, when you meet new people, when you have an opportunity to make a difference in somebody's life. And I'm going to steal a little bit of Chief Heppel's thunder because he's out sick and not able to be a keynote speaker. But he always is sure to talk about the fact that it's not what you do for somebody, it's how you make them feel. And you're going to reach people at their worst hour. You're going to be the hand they reach for, the person they trust to make it better in any way that you can. And they will remember you. Again, not because you're the best paramedic or EMT or firefighter, but because you comforted them, you showed them compassion regardless of the situation that they're in, and you made that worst time in their life better. It's a lot of trust we have for you. We have a lot of faith in your ability to meet that trust and carry on the proud tradition we have. To your families, this opportunity for you to be here today and celebrate this success is just the beginning of what these folks need from you as they move through their careers. We in the fire and EMS services have begun to be more open about the impacts that this job has on our people. We see other human beings in their worst hour. We're busy, we're tired, and we give everything that we have. And sometimes we just need that person that's there for us. It's not an expectation to solve the problems or the challenges, but to be a support system, to be a phone call, to be a walk, to just be present and know that you're there to support them as they move through this career. It's a long career. It's a very exciting career. Not many jobs offer you the opportunity to go anywhere and meet anybody with a knock or a handshake with the words, fire department, here to help. We don't need a warrant. They trust us. We don't need to apologize. Well, maybe sometimes we get sent to the wrong address. 3 o'clock in the morning, people aren't excited to see us if they didn't call. But the reality is, it is a tremendous responsibility and opportunity. You will grow not from the lives you save, but the lives you touch. The calls, there's a lot. You're going to develop these bonds you established in the academy here, the crews that you're going to go out to. They care about you. They want you to be a part of their team, and they will become a part of this extended family. And the rest of you will have the opportunity to enjoy those relationships and get to know those that support and take care of your family members at home. Our job is to provide a safe and welcoming environment for them to be happy at work, and they will develop bonds that some, I'll warn you, you might become jealous of. The work family, there's inside jokes, there's important relationships, there's a bond that helps carry us through. And so with that, I really just extend an appreciation to the families for taking the time to show up for those you care about, for you, for stepping up, being willing to join Eugene Springfield Fire, and carrying our proud traditions into the future with wisdom and creativity and perseverance. So, thank you.
Our next speaker holds the title of EMS Chief and frequently serves as an instructor and presenter for our academies. It is my pleasure to welcome Chief Campy to the podium.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I'm so proud of all of you and your accomplishment here today. It's pretty amazing. I know when I taught your last class, I think I quoted a children's book, and this time I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, there's a children's book that I used to read my kids every night, and it was called Firefighter Frank's Day at the Fire Station. And in that book, Frank attends to a conflagration, a multiple vehicle car accident, medical call. He has some time to do some public education. And I think about that often because we used to read that book and we used to substitute my husband's name for Big Frank. And we would read that story at night. And I think about that because there are many days where you run calls that are the calls that you just dream about, the ones where you have trained so hard. And I know all of you have been absolutely grilled on critical calls. And I know that in that moment, you guys will all absolutely rise to the challenge. It's the day-to-day calls where it's not quite so challenging to your mind, where you can allow yourself to become complacent in what you do. And I would challenge you not to become complacent. Remember that each one of those patients that have called you because they need your help. And sometimes that help seems very trivial. And sometimes that help is absolutely what will save their life. But to each of them, it is equally important. I would challenge you to not fall into the habit of treating calls like they are routine. Those calls will change, and what will seem like routine one day may become a critical call in front of your eyes, and you must be ready. As I look upon you, I think, my goodness, and I'm looking out at the crowd, I see the past, see the present, and you are the future. You will set the course and the tone for how this department will respond to calls into the future. Your attitude and what you bring to the table will become what your crew will see, and you will be infectious to your crew if you bring the right attitude. If you bring the wrong attitude, you too will be infectious, and you will get to work with what you have created. So be careful of what attitude you bring, because it will surround you. If you look for good, you will see good. If you look for bad, you will find it. Be careful what you look for. Again, I am so proud of you. Today, this milestone is huge for you, and I'm so glad that you are part of our family. You are not here on accident. You are here on purpose. Congratulations.
Recruits, I'm sure that your family members and friends have had the opportunity to hear many of your stories while you've been in the academy. But what better way is there to show them what you've been through than through the visual means of media? So I present to you your graduation video. I was also asked to inform all of you that the materials used were either plastic or things found on the grocery store shelves. Nothing was acquired by us personally on those training videos. Next, I'd like to call instructors Ettinger and Moore to the podium to present the class address and awards.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad all of you family members and crew back there got to make it today to witness EMS Class 2 hit the streets. So I had a nice 20 to 30 minute long speech for everybody, so buckle up. We're going to get through the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding. I just got a couple of things. The Academy was given 5 rules at the beginning of the Academy that I wanted them to get through the Academy with, and they're all very excited to repeat those rules back right now, right? No, I got it. I can't handle that if you don't get it right. So, so rule number 1 was be the hardest worker in the room. That's a very important rule to me, and I was really excited to see this group really take that rule to heart. Rule number 2 was to always be improving. So some of us came here with a lot of experience. Some of us are brand new paramedics. No matter where you're at in your career, there's always an opportunity for improvement, and all of you showed vast improvement from day 1 to the end of this academy. Very proud of all of you for that. Rule number 3 was help others who are struggling. This is our job. They call because they're struggling. We respond to help them. But it also goes to your teammates, and I was really proud of you guys and the camaraderie that you had. If somebody was struggling, the others would be right there to help them. Extra scenarios, studying. All of you exemplified this rule and were a very cohesive unit. Very proud of you for that. Rule number 4 is be kind. There's a lot of type A personality and we can get very competitive. The problem with that is sometimes we're not the most kind when we're competitive. All of you were very kind to each other. In moments where stress was overloading you, you still were nice to one another and you still worked really hard to bring that positive attitude, to rise each other up. We did have some downfalls at times, but you were all right there with each other. Kind smile, a handshake, a hug. You were all right there for that. You will see that a lot in the field as well. There will be hard times. Keep being kind to one another. And rule number 5 is my favorite rule, and as you saw in the video, they really exemplified this rule. Have fun, right? There's a lot that we do. It's not that fun. And it can really weigh on you. This career can be very difficult on you mentally, physically, emotionally. It does take a toll on your personal life. Make a choice to have fun. Be that good partner on the ambulance. Be that good partner in the station. Have fun with it. Don't focus on the negative things. It was actually really fun to see some of those videos there. One of my favorite quotes from the Academy itself was, "Oh, there's Adam. Having a pillow fight with a wasp." So it was really fun. So remember those 5 rules. You did a great job in the academy. Please take it with you out to the line. Use it in your day-to-day as well. Remember to treat your family members that way, your crewmates, and everyone else as well. Thank you guys very much. So we do have a couple of awards to hand out here. This is the Golden Pen Award that historically was for those that wrote the best charts. Well, thanks to our current charting program, the chart pretty much writes itself at this point. It's all a drop-down menu. It generates a narrative for you. So it's not so much who writes the best chart, but this started with Nurse Karen Anderson, who couldn't be here today. However, it is shifted into the Karen Anderson Award. This person showed great leadership, a lot of caring, great professionalism, phenomenal knowledge and skill. So I'm very excited to present this award to Mackenzie Gaelic. And now I have a super secret fun award that I didn't really tell anybody about, so I'm sneaking it up right now. So the 5 rules were really important to me in the academy. They did fantastic with it. But the most important rule should be rule number 1. Guys, what is the rule number 1? Okay, be the hardest worker in the room. You got it right, thank you. Good job, Jake. So to me, the hardest worker in the room was the person that was consistently doing work. Their downtime was spent either studying, improving the classroom. The EMS closet in Classroom 3 is filled with all the supplies that they use for carrying out the academy. And it was a mess. We used a lot of things in there. We're constantly in and out. It was a mess. And together as a group, they actually worked really hard to organize that closet. But one person really did stand out to me. This person also was constantly cleaning up after others, was constantly looking for something else to do, constantly showing that, well, here, that good probationary mode of always finding something to do, always keeping their hands busy. I'm very proud of this person. One of the instances that really stood out to me is we would do a lot of PT in the morning. We would be going across to the gym, and as we'd come back, our feet were muddy or they were wet. Not even always muddy, just a little wet. And this person was out there mopping up the floor, doing anything they could to keep the professional appearance of our department. So my super secret award is a sledgehammer. So the reason why it's a sledgehammer is because when I think of the hardest worker in the room, I think of John Henry. Does anyone know the legend, the tall tale of John Henry? Well, don't worry if you don't know, I'm going to tell you. So John Henry was a steel driver, and he became legend because he had a competition with a steam-powered machine, and he was able to outperform the machine. He, with his mighty sledgehammer, was able to do more work than currently at the time in the mid-1800s what the steam-powered machine was capable of doing, and it was very impressive. What I like so much about the sledgehammer is the sledgehammer can do nothing but work. There are other things you can get. There are great, like the jackhammer, another machine. But putting in the solid work with this device is really impressive. The hardest worker in the room, as I engraved on here for you, I'm realizing now it looks a lot like a ransom note. I do apologize. I used my own burner. I did it by hand, and that is just awful. But next time it'll be better. I'll buy some stencils. But the hardest worker in the room goes to Melanie Helms. A quote that you'll hear a lot today is, work smarter, not harder. And a lot of times we use this as a justification for being lazy. Melanie, you not once were lazy in our academy. You were constantly working hard, and it was very impressive. There are times when working smarter, not harder, is a good thing, like the Lucas device. You saw that St. Lucas on there. That's a phenomenal device. It is doing the work for us. So we take 2 paramedics on scene that are now able to do more work for the patient. That is working smarter. But what it's actually doing is allowing us as a team to work harder for the patient. This is an impressive use of technology. So you can do both. They're not mutually exclusive. Work harder and work smarter. Thank you, class of EMS 2.
Chief Heppel normally does the oath for us, but since he is out sick, I have asked Chief Caven to do us the honor. Recruits, please stand. They're going to turn to the audience if you want to go stand in the center. Yeah.
State your name. Do solemnly pledge that I will faithfully perform the duties of emergency medical services provider. That I will strive to conserve life. Alleviate suffering. Promote health. And act for the good of the community. That I will uphold the rules and regulations. Of this department. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my position. Congratulations.
Recruits, go ahead and have a seat. Next, we're going to do the badge presentation. I'm going to ask Chief Campy, Instructor Ettinger, and Instructor Moore, please to come up and prepare your places. To explain to everyone else real quick what you're going to see, Chief Campy will be calling up each recruit and the support person that they've selected to pin on their badge. Instructor Ettinger will hand the badge to that support person. It will already be unlocked and ready for you. There is a little eyelets on their shirts that you'll just have to slip the little pin right through. It should be fairly easy, but we'll see. And then once that badge is pinned, take a moment to turn, face the audience, and then Fire Instructor Giles will be doing a picture. Which side will you be on? I'm sorry, Captain Giles. What side will you be on? In the center?
I'll be in this, they're gonna be right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be right.
Okay, so please face him and he'll get a picture, and so we'll get that taken. And then the recruits will walk over to the instructor line, and then we will hand you a present.
The tradition of the badge in the fire service dates to the Crusades. There are lots of symbols on our badge. The first is the Maltese cross. It represents loyalty to serve citizens who are in danger and a willingness to sacrifice personal safety to do so. The next is the seal. It is the center of the scramble. It represents a dedication to always be prepared and a promise to be ready to go on a moment's notice. The third is the bugles. The bugles on our badge represent leadership and acting in a way that others can follow. The badge represents our unfettered access to public trust. Fire and EMS personnel are the only ones who can enter the homes of citizens without a warrant or express permission. This is because fire and EMS personnel arrive on the scene during an emergency, and citizens trust fire and EMS personnel to care and protect them and their families when in need. It is critical that we keep the public's trust sacred. There are a few times in your career that a badge is presented to you. The first is graduation from the academy, And after that, it will only occur when you have earned a promotion. It is an outward symbol that you are part of our department. Each of the recruits has selected someone special to them to pin their badge on today. I would like to ask Tyler Armstrong to come forward and his mother, Lydette Nelson.
Until you have to do it. There's stand there.
Justin Ferguson, please come forward. His friend Bob Colwell will be pinning his badge today. Next up, we have Mackenzie Gaelic. Her mother, Ann Gaelic, will be pinning her badge today. Next up, we have Jared Godden. His mother, Karen Rhodes, will be pinning his badge today. Melanie Helms, please come forward. Her husband, Ryan Helms, will be pinning her badge today. Al Johnson, please come forward. His wife, Ilse Johnson, will be pinning his badge today. Logan Koss, please come forward. His grandmother, Rita Lombard, will be pinning his badge. Adam Lamb, please come forward. Adam's fiancee, Paige Welch, will be pinning his badge today. Jake Melander, please come forward. His wife, Jen Melander, will be pinning his badge today. Nathan Rose, please come forward. Nathan's mother, Sheila Hawkins, will be pinning his badge today. Oh, we've had a substitution. Nathan's father will be pinning his badge today. Evan Ruffier, please come forward. Evan Ruffier's father, Peter Ruffier, will be pinning his badge today. Michaela Turner, please come forward. Michaela's mother, Melanie Turner, will be pinning her badge today. Congratulations, Maria.
So this isn't scripted, but feel free to put on your helmet if you really want to. Some of you are still waiting for the front part of your helmets. The badge that goes to the front is still on its way here, so we will get those to you as soon as we can. It has been a wonderful experience witnessing each of you receive this honor today, being so close to your very first day as a full-time member out on the line. Eugene Springfield Fire is a proud organization, steeped with traditions and the time-honored values of teamwork, accountability, respect, service, integrity, and adaptability. Who can tell me the word? Nice work. The word that they just said is tarsia. Tarsia is the Italian word for mosaic. And in front of this podium, you will see a badge that is the symbol of this department. And when we try to think of the values that guide our department, we think of that badge. And so if we picture this badge as a mosaic or a stained glass window composed of different parts, and we remember that word that stands for each of our values, we will never forget our values. You all get 10 points. It's because of these values that my challenge to each of you sitting here before me today is to do everything that you can to continue learning and growing as an emergency medical clinician throughout the entirety of your career, regardless of whatever rank you may someday achieve, because that's who you want to be. You want to be a clinician. I know we call it teching, but it's more than that. So much more than that. Like a physician who takes in all aspects of a patient's situation to develop the best care plan for that particular patient at that particular time for their particular need, you need to be the highest level clinician that you can be out in the street. Remember that you are the only one who can control what you know, what you do, and how you act. Take and keep control of your mindset throughout your career. Be the one that says, "Let's go save a baby," when the tones drop for an infant cardiac arrest, instead of the someone who feels nothing but dread. Remember that you're going into this line of work to save lives, so these are the calls that will make you shine. Be the one that commits to reviewing a protocol right before you go to bed, regardless of how busy your shift has been, so that you too can become that positive influence in someone else's career for the rest of their career. Be the one who's able to see the good in the bad, similar to going out on a strenuous, soggy hike on an overcast and chilly day. Focus on the good in the experience. It will help to mediate its physical and emotional impact on you. The public servant that can consistently control their mindset is the public servant that will enjoy a long, lengthy career and gain from it many fond memories instead of becoming bitter and disillusioned. As the years go by, do your best to retain a high level of compassion and competency, which are just two of the many characteristics of professionalism that we discussed in class. When the public calls 911, they are expecting the best of the best to help them for their situation. You are that expert. On every call, on every shift, while you're here, the public deserves your A game. The public doesn't get a choice of who shows up when they call 911, so we owe it to them. They are expecting a professional. Keep in mind that though it may be your 200th time running a similar call, most of the time, this is that patient's first time calling 911. You will be representing each one of us that wears the ESF emblem during these moments. So make us proud, especially in those moments when others may lose their sense of compassion or patience or professionalism. This career isn't easy, but it is incredibly rewarding if you do it right. I encourage you to take the lessons that we've given you on being teachable, humble, and professional to guide you through the many days, months, and years to follow. I, as well as the rest of the training and support staff, are looking forward to watching you continue to develop and seeing all that the future has to offer you. Congratulations to each and every one of you. We are so very proud and so very excited. I'd like to invite everyone here to join us in the lobby for some refreshments following this. And I know that you're really excited to come and hug your recruit. But we have one more very important task for this ceremony, and that is to take the class picture. And I learned the hard way during EMS Academy #1 that if we didn't do it at the beginning, it's like herding cats, and I cannot get it to be done for a long time. So what we'll do is we're going to dismiss the recruits. They are going to head out to, it's not raining, so the fountain. For the rest of you, please remain seated for a few more minutes as they exit. Feel free to applaud and cheer for them on the way out. Recruits, please stand, face the audience. Chief Caven, I present to you the EMS Single Role Academy number 2, ready for assignment.